Hey guys, welcome to another episode of
Discovering Our Journey.
I'm your host, MC.
And I'm JC.
Oh man.
Yep, this week is a long week, right?
It's been a long week. A lot of projects going on, a lot of things going on.
Projects are good. Keeps us busy, keeps us focused and moving forward. Definitely. That's right. And morning. That's how it is. But in the friend circle, I am hearing a lot of talk about, attitudes changing within friends. And so that's the question of the day that I thought would be great to talk about is what do you do when you notice a change in the attitude in your close friend?
And I guess the question too is, are they changing or are you changing?
Ooh, I like that. Let us spin. That's right. Because it is all perspective, right?
It is. It's like sometimes we think about it like, well, it's funny because, in friend circles you'll hear like, oh my God, so-and-so is like this. And it's like, and I'll kind of turn sometimes and look and be like, that person's always been that way. It's like, are you just noticing that? So it's like one of those things where, we know how our friends are.
Yeah.
We know how our friends are. And I think we have a rule. It's like, you know what? We don't choose our family, but we choose our friends. So,
yes.
You know what? If you choose your friend, you got to love them as crazy as they are, as wild as they are, as unexpected as they are. In some instances can be sometimes, too much. We have had friends where, it's been difficult to hang around because of them somewhat just as a couple.
Showing too much of the deck.
It's just as a couple sometimes, especially when me and, my wife were younger, sometimes we get with certain couples that were just a little too much for us, we're not into the, name calling. We've never name called, never to certain, we argue in our own degree, and to each his own, but we've never crossed certain lines. And
I'm glad you said that because we all have a different dance.
Yeah,
some people like to scream at each other. Some people like to poke at each other. Some people like to joke with each other, like those nasty. Like, what do they call it? Like jump scares and stuff. I don't do that.
Yeah.
You do that to me, I'm going to punch you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all have a different dance.
There are different ones and stuff. And, sometimes, some can be, just a little too much for one. So I'm honestly the type that I'm just like, nothing really bothers me. So I'm like, whatever. On the other hand, my other half was just at times was like, okay, this is a little too much. Mm-hmm. It's a little too much. So, sometimes we had to separate a little bit, from those couples that, we just didn't feel comfortable, I guess, with.
And so, for me, how I see it is this, and I've expressed this before, is that I've grown up with many siblings, right? I've had a lot of siblings, and so throughout that, you kind of know who they are. Like, who they are. That's why when they want to change, you're just like, I know who you are, and it's hard. It's hard. Now, is that right? No, not at all. But in a friendship, I start to think, well, obviously, you must be spending a lot of time with them. To kind of realize, right? It's not that their mask is coming off, is that you're starting to realize that, hey, we're hanging out a lot. I'm noticing what I used to be lenient with, like you're saying, maybe it was always there. You were a little bit more like, it's all right. But now it's just gotten too consistent where you're just like, I need my time. And so in that, I say, don't make anything permanent. Like I've said it before, don't be so rash to be like, oh, it's done, Just kind of make yourself busy. Right now it's their chapter of growth or it's yours. Like you said, I might be doing something like I might be reading more and getting a little bit more ideas on how to improve my relationship with my husband. And so my friends take a backseat. Or my kids and my husband takes a backseat for a minute. You know what I mean? It all depends on where I'm at.
And I mean, it all depends on what we're talking about too. Because I was mostly talking about, let's just say, you out with a certain friend, and we see it in shows all the time. It's like, oh man, I forgot my wallet. So
one of those.
I mean, that's where I was going with it. You were going into a deeper way and stuff like that.
Yeah, because usually girls complain. Oh. We as girls, we complain. Sometimes we're just like, and that frustration can be still what you were saying. Mm-hmm. Still what you're saying. So, but yours is more like, habits?
Yeah, mine's more like I said, habits of certain places, or someone is always the one who gets to pick where we go to eat or something, or sometimes there's a certain friend that likes to sit where I like to sit, and we're always fighting for the chair. It's like it's like there's certain ways that I like to sit at a restaurant, and for some reason we have the same likes, and it's like
you have to sit against the wall.
Like I don't like to look. I don't like to look at the wall. I like to look towards the front door. I like to look towards my area. I'm not really sure what this friend's deal is. Like I've never asked. Like so why? It just so happens that we both are just trying to go for the same seat, and it's like what the.
Yeah.
So we're always fighting for the seat. So there's just certain things that we have our deal with our friends. The big one I feel like that's a lot out there is the payment. Sometimes we go out to go eat and stuff, and it's like
just split it in half.
Yeah,
whatever you bought, you pay for. Whatever they bought, they pay for.
Oh, that's not split in half.
Oh, okay, you're right. No,
I was like,
50-50 is half. No. You're right. You're right. Whatever you order, you paid for.
Yeah.
You're in charge and responsible for that.
But
because I get you. Some people are like appetizers, then their big old meal,
and alcohol.
So
then exactly. It's like if they have kids or alcohol, that's two bad ones right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they have both, then we're in trouble because it's like alcohol. Your alcohol is usually more than your food, and if you have kids with you, well then it's like that's even though they're small kids, it could still be a little bit more.
Are they grabbing from the $2.99?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait, are we splitting all those tots or what? Because he just put his hands all over them. So oh man.
So how do you respond when? So you identify it, right? You identify that there's a change. Okay, cool. How do you respond when they are actually ignoring you? When they've understood, just like you, that there is a change, and now they're ignoring you. That's the next thing that I noticed that was coming up.
So you're saying now it's a bigger subject. So we're saying stuff like, they're not spending as much time with you.
Yeah.
So are you the not getting spent time with, or are you the one not spending the time?
Right? That's why it's perspective.
So
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
But who's asking, I should say.
Right.
Let's just give it a thing. I mean, let's just give it a side here. So let's just say you're the person that feels like, so far so-and-so isn't calling me. What's going on? I mean, the thing is that you need to have a talk, just have a talk. I mean, a lot of things are out there sometimes, so things get back like, oh, you had a get together, but didn't invite me.
Yeah.
There was a funny one that I heard on the radio the other day that it just so happens that we're talking about this was, okay, do you invite your friends that don't have kids to the kids' party because they're your friends? It's like, dang! I was like, what? So, and you know what? And it's funny because I've been in that situation on both sides.
Yeah.
My cousin, awesome, love her to death, and there was time before that she wouldn't invite us, but I get it. It was the kids.
Yeah.
So because they have she's got kids, my brother's got kids. There's kids involved. My cousin, her brother's got kids, so they would all get together, and I wouldn't. But I did appreciate her because it's like through the holidays, years ago, she's like, you know what, you and your wife can come, and I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, we'd love to have you. You guys are like awesome.
Yeah.
Not saying my other cousins or whoever is not awesome.
That must have made you feel so special.
It's like how can I say it? It's like you don't want to also invite someone that's just going to be sitting there and just be like, I'm watching TV while everyone's doing whatever.
Yeah.
They know my interaction with my nephews. They know my interaction with my nephews and my cousins' kids and everything. So they see how I am with the kids and everything. So it's like, so I kind of belong, I guess. So I guess that she's like, you know what, you can come.
You're the staple.
You know what I'm saying?
You're the staple of the conversation.
Your wife can come and stuff. So you
yeah.
guys. So I was like, oh, thank you, Prima. So it's like, it's cool to be invited like that. But, I wouldn't feel bad. I wouldn't feel bad that I wouldn't be invited because, yeah, I get it. I mean, she goes all out for the kids, makes little games and stuff like that. And she wants to take all her energy to doing that, not to cater to us. Because, you got someone that doesn't have kids. They might be in the corner drinking like, hey, what's up? And it's like, oh, we're here with the kids. And they might not be into that whole spiel. So I get it.
And that's a whole nother scenario, the inviting or not. Now, this one, though, we're talking about ignoring during a party. So my question, like you said, is well, who is the one feeling estranged here? Because if they're acting like, funny, you'll feel it. Or is it you? Is it you that is expecting? Because remember, we can't expect. We got to accept what's in front of us. So the good thing about this situation is that we don't talk about names. We talk more about the scenario.
Yeah.
We're like, so what happens? So that way we can digest it in smaller bites and really look at what the bigger picture had for us.
And I think the person that, I guess if you're really looking at it, I guess the only person that would ask themselves what's going on would be the person that's not invited. Yeah. Because if the person who's doing the inviting isn't inviting, they kind of know what's going on.
Well, that's your scenario, right? My scenario
what scenario would it be?
My scenario was that they were invited, right? Mm-hmm. But it's because they're in the same kind of group of friends. But now there's kind of a distance between both.
And again, the distance between, so it's like, oh yeah, you're invited. But when they're at the party, they feel a distance, right? I guess the question is going to be, where do they see the distance? The focus is on someone else, another group, mm-hmm. another partner. They found another couple. Mm-hmm. The husband maybe works with somebody else, and they're mm-hmm. kind of like,
or they're trying to make new friends, though.
Or maybe they're trying to make new friends.
Or they're trying to mingle.
So but that's the question.
And some of us have a rough time sharing friends.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah.
See, I have a large family, so for me, jumping around is natural. But I see my friends, and jumping around is not okay with them because they're more like, I didn't have that many siblings. And when they didn't want to be with me, they weren't with me. It's either in or none. You know what I mean? I'm just like, dang.
We had some friends that were like, oh, so you went out with, the friends from that side of town and stuff. Like, oh.
Without me.
Well, not without me, because that's the whole point. It's if we're not with them on this side of town.
Oh, I see.
So it wouldn't be without me. It's like you have your, let's just say you have your north side friends and your south side friends. Yeah. It's like, so it's like, oh, you're with the north side friends. Or you were with your out-of-state friends, huh? You were visiting your friends out of state and stuff. So it's like, there's been comments like that.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where, but in that situation, it's different. I think it's just tougher to invite different groups of friends, though, to a get-together, especially if you don't, to incorporate friends, because we try sometimes to incorporate, let's just say, me, I'm into the gym a lot, gym, I have my gym family and stuff like that.
Groups.
And so there's times that we were having the only time that I guess it wasn't that big of a deal because I was the focus, or at least my brother was when I had my services for my brother. That was a little different, where it felt really good.
Because everyone has to come.
We're all here for the same thing. Yeah. Like there shouldn't be any
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? So we had different tables for the different groups and different friends. Family of my mom that knew my brother, family of my brother, friends of my brother. So it was like that was a whole diverse thing, which was understandable.
Yeah.
But in another situation like that, like it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work because this group of friends is into this, that group of friends is into that. No one's going to always like the same music, the same atmosphere, the same whatever.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to have your diverse friends, and it is a challenge to try to
accommodate everybody.
Exactly, or to even give your time to everybody.
How about you out there? Do you have many groups of friends? Are you that person that goes out there and just makes different groups, right?
And there's people that come into our your life too. There's a close childhood friend that I have that we call each other cousins, but we're not. And it could be 6 months, it could even be a year, and we don't see each other, and all of a sudden we'll go out to eat and like nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it happens like that.
I am that kind of friend.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And a lot of people are not good with that. I am the friend that
a lot of people are not good at accepting that.
Accepting it.
Okay, well, see, so we're talking to those people.
And I've had to ease my way back in and be like, hey, like tiptoe and be like, how are you? And it's very hard to get through and break through that wall of abandonment. But here's the thing, is that I like to keep myself busy. I like to open new chapters of what's new. Sometimes it's the gym. Sometimes it's a new craft. Sometimes it's a new group in all. Sometimes it's Bible study. Sometimes it's sports. And it depending on, dramatic life changes in my life, that's kind of how I navigate, and it's really hard to explain it to people. So my very, very besties of friends have been with me for like half my life. Like, no, I'm a loyal friend.
And when you say tiptoe back, I mean, what is it that you feel that you're doing that's making you what is it that you're tiptoeing about that you feel like you shouldn't have to, or what is it that you're doing that you feel like it's a little too much sometimes?
It's more emotional on their side, where it was like, we had such a good thing. Why did you need your space? Why did you?
Do you feel like you took your space though?
Yes.
You feel okay? So you literally took a break from somebody?
No, I do it all the time.
So
I do it all the time.
You take breaks from people.
I take breaks from the world, because sometimes I've got to buckle down, and I've told you before that I fast, I read, I get into those moments where I've had enough of my outer environment, where I need to kind of cocoon and kind of refocus.
And I guess my question is, so do they continue to ask you to go out and you say no? Because I mean, I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm busy, and like I said, the ones that have had me for many, many years, they're very similar to me. They're very similar to me, where we can stop talking for like 6 months, 8 months even. One I haven't even talked to. I just recently talked to again, and it had almost been a year. And we just start back where we left off, and we're just like, hey, how's it going? How is it doing? How is this? How is that? And there's always a change, and it's really nice to hear that it's not the same steps. Like, there's always something different that they've done.
Now, here's the question. It's very interesting, because I guess some friends have fallen off throughout the years because I guess they're not like that. And I guess that's what's weird about, I guess we don't have any friends that are not like that. I guess because if they were like that, then they fall off. So do you feel like you try to get them back?
No.
What I'm saying is that, so, because I mean, so do you feel like you call them and they're like, oh, you're available now? Yeah, cool. All right, let's do this. Or
yes, many of them say, are like, yeah. And some of them are just like, oh, yeah, no, I'm busy. And you can feel the
and do you lose those friends?
Emotion.
Do you lose those friends?
No, eventually we end up, because I just give them their space, and I just let them know every once in a while, hey, I'm here, because it's back into the groups.
Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of weird for me. With all the friends that we have, they all pretty much have their other groups. I can't think of any friends at the moment that don't have a different group besides us. And they still throw it like, well, we've been hanging out with so-and-so because, you guys haven't called. And like, we have called. So, and you know what? We are pretty available all the time. I mean, we would, like, it wouldn't be 1 week that we wouldn't go with somebody.
Yeah.
Or at least twice a week go with somebody. So it's like, we're seeing people, within the 3-4 groups we had, maybe even 5 groups at one point, we would see them all within the month. So it's not like we would separate. So, and there's times we 2-3 times, or for, twice in a weekend and stuff. So we were, I don't know about you, how often you guys go out, but we would go out a lot.
No, yeah. When the season's there, we'll do it.
The season?
The season.
What season's that?
However long that season is. It can be it can be a year, it can be 2, but then.
But there's times that you don't go out.
Yeah, there's times where I'm just like, I need a couple weeks to myself.
Really?
Not even a couple, a few.
Oh, man, I don't know about all that.
Yeah. And what I've noticed about friends that do that versus the friends that don't do that, it's almost like they keep themselves in the same wheel, that when we touch base, it's like nothing has changed. They're still in the same spot.
Really?
Yeah. My other friends are just like, yeah, I started my new business. Little Charlie's walking, and we're doing sports now, and like they almost like flourish, and that's the kind of, I think that's the kind of friendships I've started to like, and I think maybe that's something that I've adopted.
I think that's personal though, because I mean, you've seen my flourish, and I always want to hang around people every day.
Right.
So I don't have to be away from people. I rather be with people.
Yeah.
So, and I flourish pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
But
it's not to say my way is the way.
No. I'm saying I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying, that maybe that's, and I mean, it would make sense that those people still want it to be the same are not the ones. I would say that the mentality, whether they separate from you or not, if that mentality is, oh man, where'd you go? It's like, well, then that means what are they really working on?
Yeah.
If they're able to concentrate on it, 'cause like I said, we meet with her, oh my God, this and that, yeah. And then they'll throw a dig like, well, you haven't been around, so you didn't see Jesus, I'm here now, what's going on? It's like, and they have made changes, but sometimes they're still stuck on the, you haven't been around or whatever and stuff. And
see, like, I love the excitement to hear of like, hey, I started school, and I can't believe I'm a haircut. You got into that. That's crazy. It's almost like a beautiful, like, what's next? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, like, I notice that the longer we sit there together, it's like the longer we just kind of sit there doing the same things. But that's me. Yeah. That's me. And how are you guys? Like, is it just your group and nothing else? I mean, it's community though. That's the thing that's the biggest thing I've noticed.
And I feel like, maybe I don't do your break thing, but I do have my breaks with the groups because, again, we go this way, we go that way. So it's my own break, but I'm just constantly still with a group. And I think it's okay. I think it's great to be able to have diversity going with these friends, going with those friends.
Yeah.
And if you want, even to yourself with no friends, it's all good. It's all about growth, So, and sometimes, there's certain friends that, we hang around with that, give us a certain different outlook in life that we're like, oh man, yeah. It's like, oh, I love hanging with these guys because it's so much fun. Oh man, I really love hanging with these guys because I feel like, we talk about business. I feel like hanging with these guys because,
that's what I love. So I'm telling you.
There's different aspects to that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. So,
yeah.
So back to attitudes is, I hope that people out there hearing personality types like me, because I'm not the only one. Mm-hmm. I really am not. Especially, like I said, a lot of my closest friends do the same thing, and we can pick up right where we left off. Mm-hmm. How are you guys to that? And like when you speak to people, is it new things that happen? Like, can you share that truly? And if not, would you be challenged to want to do something like that? Like, kind of, give yourself that space to kind of flip the page of what's next, what's new.
Yeah.
Would you? I know you're probably like, oh, I didn't know that about you. Would you consider doing that, or do you think that would help you out in a sense?
To take a break from everyone?
No. Just like you said, like there's chapters of like hanging out with these groups and this group and this group, and then sometimes doing things to yourself.
You know what? I think that do we have to, I hate to say it crudely like this, but trim the fat sometimes, like we've talked about from the beginning. There are some relationships that just might not be the best thing. Yes, there could be. There could be sometimes where, there's, way back in the days, we used to have...
But why does it have to be negative? Does it have to be negative? Like trim the fat?
Well,
I don't see it like that.
Well, why would you want to let go of something that's positive? If you have a friendship...
Because you have to challenge yourself to something new, something next.
No, yeah, but you don't have to let it go.
And you can't really do that with giving this person... Like, let's just say...
But that's why I said you go to this group, and then that group, and then this group, and then... So,
yes.
So that's what I'm saying. I recommend that. That's what I do, though. That's what I mean.
That is what you do.
Remember, I just don't do the you thing, like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to no one for however long, or go out. It's like I'm.
No, I don't say leave me alone. I'm just like, hey, Susie. So yeah, today I don't think I'm gonna. Or no, you know what? Next week I'm gonna start reading up on my books that I've been wanting to. And and then how about Friday? Well, Friday I'm starting to implement date night with my hubby, and so and I don't mean to trim the fat or anything, but I am trying to motivate myself and to challenge myself into next steps. How
much do you do by yourself though, like to draw or to write or to read or whatever? How much of that of your life, percentage wise, a tenth, an eighth, whatever? I mean,
I don't
you
know.
do though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
It's like
that's the thing.
It's like a calling.
But see, that's the thing. I don't do nothing by myself.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't do nothing. If I'm not with my wife and I'm not working, I ain't by myself. I'm somewhere else. I'm with the gym. I'm with somebody. I'm doing something. I'm never by myself.
Oh.
Today was like the first day I went shopping by myself. It's like I don't never have gone shopping by myself.
Were you like, oh, have you seen those videos?
Dude, it was like the fastest I've ever been in Costco. I was like, is this all that's on the list? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. She's like, well, if you want to take a look, nope.
Oh.
I was like, nope, I'm out of here. See you later. It's like, I think that Costco's going to call, like, hey, is everything okay? You guys, I noticed you guys only shopped for about 20, 30 minutes. Like, yeah, my wife wasn't with me, so yeah, we didn't go down every aisle and stuff. So, so I was like, I'm just going to get what I want. That's it. I mean, what am I there for? I ain't going down every aisle.
But then that's guys. The guys and girls, we're too different.
I'm just saying, it's
we make houses into homes. Okay, we are the designers.
Sure,
we are the creative. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay? Just to let you know on that. Just a reminder. Just a reminder.
But that's cool. That's why I was like, when she wants to go with her mom to Costco, I'm like. But the funny thing is, me and my mother-in-law, we got a little thing going, like, oh yeah, your mom said she wants to go to Costco.
No.
Because my mother-in-law says she doesn't like to walk. She's like, no, she looks too much sometimes.
Oh.
So my mother-in-law sometimes is like, gives her a hard time too. Like, no, go with him. No, go with her. Go with her. So we just throw it back and forth and stuff like that. But like I said, so I'm never by myself.
Wow.
I'm never by myself.
So do you have a codependent issue? I'm joking.
I don't know.
I'm joking.
No.
I am so joking.
No, I mean, I just like being around people.
Yeah.
I think because I was an only child for 12 years, until my brother came along, that probably is one of those things where I'm just not used to. I was alone most of my life, till I was almost 12, 11 and a half. My brother was born, and it's like, oh, I got a brother now.
See, and I always shared a room.
See, that's what I mean.
I always shared a room, and I always shared clothes, hand-me-downs.
And you were so much into probably having your,
Yeah, my space was always invaded.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So maybe that's why that's why it's the opposite.
I think you just cracked something that I didn't even know.
Yeah, so why do I look for people? Because I felt so alone. I was a kid with the ball hitting against the wall because
knocking on the door. Can you play?
Yeah.
Hi, new neighbor. Oh, those are the fun times though.
So that's the thing. I was
times.
like, I was a kid going around. Is anybody out here that want to play? It's like, I was that kid because I didn't have any siblings. I didn't have any cousins that were my age. I didn't have any, and there's no siblings, no cousins, no nothing. I was the oldest of everything. So it was just me and my grandma. So that's the thing. It's just, so maybe now we just figure something out.
Yeah.
That's why I looked for people, because I felt like I was always alone.
Yeah.
And you want to get away from, not get away from people,
I don't want to get away from people. I just want to center. I know. Center.
You want that little piece.
Yeah, just what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? And it's not a bad thing.
No,
it's not a bad thing.
So I think the overall view here is that, there's different ways to be able to take time to yourself. It's not a bad thing to take time to yourself. Now, if we're trimming the fat, that's a whole different topic.
Yes.
That's a whole different topic. But, I think that, especially in your situation, friends got to realize that, we need time to ourselves. It's nothing to do with anybody else, And I think that the ones that understand it are the ones that are going to, like you said, have been around for how long now?
Yeah.
The ones that truly understand it. Because we got the ones that truly understand, the ones that accept you, and the ones that complain. That are still in your life, So those are the three levels that you got going. It's like,
And you know what? Just speaking about this, which is great, right? Because you find solutions to these things. I think it all is wrapped up around emotion. And that's the biggest issue I think we as humans have, is that we are so quick with emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, like, for me, that I feel like I didn't, have a friend. So sometimes it could turn into a bad thing, like, that I feel like I need to be with somebody.
Yeah.
It could turn into a bad thing.
Were you that empalagoso? Hey,
Yes.
why'd you call me?
Dude,
hey, where were you? I was at the ball wall. You weren't even there.
No, I was a kid that was at the neighborhood electronic shop watching how they fix TVs and stuff. I was that kid that was just like there trying to learn electronics and stuff. Like, what is that? Oh, what's a VCR? Oh, how do you fix that? And I was. Hey,
that's a good problem to have.
That's probably why I got into the business I did. But But you know what? It's sometimes we can't let our hurt from our past,
Yes.
stop us or make us feel a certain way or make us feel like that. But we should never feel like that towards our friends.
So it's all about the emotions, and it's personal, right? It's self.
And sometimes, I know that we're hurt, but if we want the best for anybody, like they say, if you love it, let it go, it'll come back.
Yeah. that's a good saying.
You know what? And friendships are like that. Like I said, I cherish the friendships that I have that we, don't talk for up to a year. And all of a sudden we just hook back. We're like, what's up? What's going on? Oh my God, this and that. So, let's not let our own hurt stop us from being good friends, But speak out. Communication's always the key.
Always.
Because you can't let that hurt inside of you because, even though we say there's always going to be. So, that's the thing about, feeling a certain way. There is hurt in ourselves because of certain things, and we shouldn't feel so attached to certain things. And, we have to understand you're our friends, because we did choose them. We chose our friends. We don't choose our family. And that's why they say, you choose your friends, not your family. Yeah. So if there's some kind of hurt feeling in your heart, feeling, it's about communication.
Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Because remember, as we always say,
there's no growth
without pain.
Until next time.